Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hear a lot of whispering up here. This is a very special Shabbat that we're about to share together. Number one, because of the special, wonderful portion, one of our favorites, Bishalach, which has that moment of our redemption having crossed safely through the sea and realizing we were free. And because of that reading, this is a special Shabbat called Shabbat Shira, the Sabbath of Song, because that poem was a song that our ancestors sang. Moses and Miriam and the people of Israel sang this song. So we have Kolot with us this evening to sing not just for us, but with us. And let us begin with Lecha Dodi. Oh, a little too loud. There we go. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Lekavela. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Lekavela. Shavor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Yishme'anu el hamichad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, V'shemu tiferet v'letfilah, Lecha Dodi, Lecha Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Lekavela. Shabbat Shalom once again. And welcome to everyone who's here with us in the sanctuary. We welcome everyone who is joining us from home this evening. There's one thing I didn't mention when I spoke a minute ago about the special nature of the service tonight. Not only is it Shabbat Shira, Sabbath of Song, but it's also visual tefillah. Very special service that we have not done since before the COVID lockdown. And if you remember, what's different about visual tefillah is that instead of having a siddur, a prayer book in your hand, where you're constantly looking down for the words, the liturgy of the service, you're looking up. And the words of our prayers are going to be projected onto the screen superimposed over beautiful images that are an attempt to engage us emotionally and to reflect some of the meaning behind each of the prayers. It's a different kind of prayer experience, and we've found it very pleasurable. It's been one of our most favorite services through the years, and we're so glad to bring it back now that we can sit together in the sanctuary again. So look up. It also frees your hands. Instead of holding a prayer book, you can clap your hands, and you can feel engaged in the room with everyone around you instead of focusing on the prayer book, looking up. And do you notice we have a lot going on up here? There's a microphone here and a microphone there. They're actually there every Friday night. We've never announced it before.
Don't scare them.
Why do you suppose they're there? Because for those, that's right, for those who are joining us from home, we don't want them to hear just us up here. We want them to hear the congregation as well. And we're also looking for new members of Kolot, so we're auditioning. If we hear a good singer out there, we're going to tap you. I'm kidding. What I'm trying to say is be joyous and sing out and be engaged and active in the worship service and the experience tonight. And let's take a moment now to greet everyone around. Say Shabbat Shalom. If it's someone new, introduce yourselves.
And before you do, everybody.
So just let it go. Announce when you come back.
Go down.
As we begin this day of peace, this day of Shabbat, when we rest our souls and we rest our bodies and we concentrate on the Spirit, we imagine that we are greeted by angels of peace that we welcome into our homes and into our lives. And that's the theme of Shalom Aleichem. And we're singing it in a very spicy, Latin-infused melody. It's a lot of fun. So let's join together in Shalom Aleichem. I don't have to announce the page numbers.
You don't have to.
Just look up at the screens.
Yeah.
The words will be there.
Try it.
Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem.
We've set the tone perfectly, I think, with that beautiful song about lighting lights, for us to continue welcoming Shabbat by lighting the lights of Shabbat. And it's my pleasure to invite Stacy Sims to light candles this evening in honor of her birthday and Lori Maldonado's birthday.
Shared birthdays.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Happy birthday to you and Lori.
Happy birthday, Shabbat Shalom. We read together. If fear is like a rock, then let me be a hammer. If sorrow is a fire, then let me be the sea. When challenges arise, may my heart increase in strength, like the moon that shines brighter when the darkness falls. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravi.
Blessed are you, O God, who makes the evening fall.
We rise either physically or in our hearts as we continue with Baruch Hu.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. La 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto Le'olam, Le'olam va'ed. May be seated.
that we may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God. Baruch atah Adonai. I bet you've said those words a few times. They're all in our service over and over again. And every time we make a blessing for wine, for bread, for the candles, we always begin with a bracha. Baruch atah Adonai. Bless or praise you, God. And why do we say those words? Well, I think it's a moment of centering. It's a moment of gratitude. You know, the word Baruch shares the same root letters with the word Berech, which means ani. And sometimes when we say Baruch, we bend the knee. It's a moment of supplication, isn't it? It's a moment of reminding ourselves that we are not the center of the universe. And so all the things that we have, and all the things that we're lucky enough to experience in life, like another day of life and good health, we should be grateful for. That's what we're saying every time we say Baruch atah Adonai. We're saying thank you. But I'd like to take it a little bit deeper this evening, because not only are those root letters found in Baruch and in Berech, but there's another word that shares the same root, bricha. What's a bricha? Well, it means rerooting. It's like a banyan tree. Have you ever seen one of those great big trees and they spread out huge branches, and sometimes one of those branches goes down and reroots itself in the ground. Or sometimes we graft, and a botanist will take a branch from a tree or from a plant and root it onto another branch. But in order to re-root, you have to peel back the outer layer of that stem. And the term in botany is layering or wounding. You have to wound that branch. You have to open it up to expose inside the cambium in order for that stem to root itself. And on this Shabbat, where we read Shira and we recount that moment of our people's liberation from slavery to freedom, perhaps the message here, or one of the messages, is that in order for our people to truly experience what it meant to be free, they first had to experience slavery. They had to experience a wounding in order to reroot, in order to really understand the meaning of bracha, of blessing, in order to become an or l'goyim, a light unto the nations, in order to be a covenanted people in relationship with God. Perhaps they first had to spend those 400 years of slavery in Egypt to learn empathy. And perhaps each one of us as well can take something away from that lesson. For there isn't a person in this room who hasn't been wounded in some way in life. We've all experienced some disappointment, some pain, some loss. But we've come through it, or we're working our way through it in order to reroute ourselves. And having experienced the wounding, we can appreciate bracha, the blessing. Kalot, please join us on the bima for the Song of the Sea. This is a beautiful composition, and the words of it are the words of Shira Hayam, including the words so familiar to all of us, the Michamocha.
Actually, later when you hear Karma chanting the Torah portion, you'll recognize the trope, the melody that I'm singing, some of it as if she will be chanting the Torah with that same trope. So listen carefully. And if you haven't turned off your cell phones, this would be a good time.
The right key is what we're about to sing.
Yeah.
Shira l'Adonai ki gahoka sus v'rochvo Rama vayam God chose Moses to lead us to freedom, enslaved in Egypt for
Can we read together? God, help us to understand that everything in our lives, the good, the bad, and the ugly, has led us to this moment right now. Be with us as we embrace it all, the tears and the joy. All that has come before is the path that has blessed us with this moment. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu.
Hashkiveinu leShalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim ufros aleinu shukat shlomecha Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu Hashkiveinu leShalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu Hashkiveinu leShalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et hashavat לעשות את אשר
marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity honors a day, and eternity honors a day. Marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity honors a day. Eternity honors a day. Die, 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 Adonai, Sifatai, Sifatai Tifta, Ufi, Yagita Ilatecha. Adonai, Sifatai, Sifatai Tifta, Ufi, Yagita Ilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Be'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Michaye HaKol, Atah Rav Le'Hoshia, Michakel Chaim B'Chesed, Michaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofeh Holim, Umatir Hasurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'gevurot, Umido Melach,
melech meimit u'mechaye u'masmiach Yeshua v'ne'emanata v'hachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelu chasela Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. We read together, Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amcha Yisrael utfilatam be'ahava tekabel uthi l'ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha Baruch atah Adonai she'odcha levadcha v'yirah na'avod. Modim anachnu lach. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us, so filled with beauty, the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more.
Shalom Rama Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rama Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rama Yisrael Amcha Tasim
Our tefillah, our prayer this evening with these beautiful images, I think you will agree, has taken us on a journey. There's so many beautiful, beautiful places in the world to appreciate the beauty of God's creation. And for the next few minutes, we're going to sit in silence. And I invite you to take a journey, a different journey, a journey within yourself, to your own prayer, to your own soul, to your own heart, to find the prayers that are not projected on a screen or written on a page, but written on your own hearts. Perhaps to say Baruch Atah Adonai, to give thanks. Let us spend a few quiet moments in meditation. Tfilat Halev, the prayer of the heart.
Oh my God, watch over me. Take the hurt away from how I speak. Only love flows from you. May every word I speak be true. Elohai, Netzor, Leshoni Merah. Elohai, Netzor, Leshoni Merah. When words are grown, I'll hold my tongue and breathe the air of songs I've sung. That refrain I'll repeat. There's more to you than only me. Elohai, Netzor, Leshoni Merah. Elohai, Shodi Meira Uswatai Midaber Mirma Velim Kala Lai Nafshi Tidam Venafshi Keafar Vako Tehiyeh Hi na na, hi na na na. Hi na na, hi na na na. Hi na na, hi na na na. Hi na na, hi na na na.
I'm so reluctant to break this beautiful feeling. And I hope you feel it as I do. But it's time for us to make a transition into Seder Kriyat Torah, a special service for the reading of Torah. And so we rise, either physically or in spirit, as our ark is open.
And I just want to ask that when we do our hakafah and the Torah is going around for people to be able to kiss and touch the Torah, I would like to ask all our religious school learning lab students and anyone who feels they're young enough to do this, to come and get, and not yet, but when we do the hakafah, we'll come and get an instrument, and please follow the Torah around with joy, with timbrels, with drums, and we have a lot to choose from. Whatever age you want to be, there's plenty.
Ki mitzion teitzei Torah, Ki mitzion teitzei Torah, Udevar Adonai Mirushalayim, Baruch Shem Natan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shem Natan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, B'kedushato.
Beit Yaakov lechuvanelcha ba'or Adonai, O house of Jacob, come, let us walk in the light of our God.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Gadol.
Shema. Okay, come and get your instruments. Hit it.
Song to the one who we've exalted, Shira and the woman that
Well, this is one of those times where we don't sit down. We stay standing as Karma chants Shirat Hayam, the Song of the Sea. And as you can see, there's no reading table here. So the Torah is going to be held aloft by Jerome and David. Very good sports. And we want you to notice, well, Carm, you want to say a word about, okay, Shirat Hayam, which is the section of Torah, if you've read what we've published about our Torah project, is the section of Torah that we are going to be writing right here. And in a few minutes, I'm going to introduce you to the sofer to the scribe, Neil Yearman, who's with us tonight. With his help and his literal guiding hand, we are going to be writing the letters of Shirat Hayam. Notice, it stands out. You can see it from across the room. It's different because it's a song. It's a poem, and it's written with spaces in between each of the verses, each of the stanzas having its own line. And there are lots of traditions about why that I'm not going to share with you at this moment. But we probably will be sharing them as the weekend progresses. So, Karma? Oh, we're going to do a congregational aliyah. Let us join together. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach, Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha'torah.
Uvenei Yisrael, halchu bayabasha betoch hayam, vehamayim lahem chomaha, miminam umismolam. Vayosh Adonai, bayom hahu, et Yisrael, miyad Mitzrayim. Vayar Yisrael et Mitzrayim, met al sfat hayam. Vayar Yisrael et hayad hagdolah, asher asa Adonai b'Mitzrayim. Vayiru ha'am et Adonai, vayaminu b'Adonai, uv'Moshe avtocho. Ahaz yashir Moshe uvenei Yisrael et hashira hazot ladonai, vayomru lemor. Ashira ladonai ki ga'o ga'a, sus v'roch v'hod ramah vayam, ozi v'zimrat yah, vayihili lishu'a, ze'eli ve'anvehu, Elohei avi ve'arom emenhu. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot, oseh ve'eleh, Adonai imloch, le'olam va'ed, ki sus paro berich bo farashav bayam vayashev Adonai alehem et mehayam uvenei Yisrael halchu bayabasha betoch hayam, ותיקח מרים הנביאה אחות אהרון את הטוב בידה ותצאן כל הנשים אחריה בתופים ובמחולות.
Yasher Koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Before we put our Torah away, as we do each week, we like to say blessings in the presence of our Sefer Torah, and especially blessings for strength and health and for healing for our friends and family who are ailing and need whatever bracha, whatever blessing, whatever strength we can bring into their lives with our calls and our visits, with the meal, and with our prayers for a refuah shlema and full and speedy healing. As my hand passes across the room, I invite you to say aloud the names of friends and family for whom we pray this evening.
And for those who are at home, please put the names of your loved ones you're praying for in the chat. They're a part of our presence here as well.
We add to those names mentioned aloud those of us here, those of you joining us from home who are in need of these same blessings for refuat hanefesh and refuat haguf, for healing of mind and body and spirit. Baruch atah Adonai rofeh hacholim, blessed are you, O God, who heals the sick.
Amen.
Amen. And let us join together in a prayer for our country and the state of Israel.
Guardian of life and liberty, grant blessings to our country. Grant our leaders patience and wisdom. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and may we never be lazy in the work of peace. Eternal God, grant blessings to the state of Israel. Protect your people, shelter them with peace, and grant them deliverance from the violence that surrounds them. May they live in harmony with one another and with their neighbors. May the bonds of faith and faith that unite the Jews of all lands be a source of strength and blessing to each of us and to all the world. And let us say, Amen.
sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey. Wrong key. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Good. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. You can be seated. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our tongue. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on our words of Torah. Steve, you were so good. Even when I start in the wrong key, he's ready to follow me wherever I start. Okay, he's going to play it in G, not D. I'll play here. Well, we have one more special treat this evening that I have not even mentioned until this moment, but in passing, I've kind of mentioned it. So I hope that there's not a person in this room who doesn't know what a very special weekend we are about to have. Starting tonight and through tomorrow and on through Sunday, we are launching our Torah project officially and getting a start. And it's been months and months in coming with lots of phone calls and lots of emails and lots of planning. And we are so excited that it's happening. And maybe you haven't heard all the details, I'm not sure. So I'll share just a smidge so we're all on the same page. We are writing a brand new Torah for our congregation. Not just purchasing a scroll, but we are fulfilling the mitzvah, the commandment of writing a Torah scroll. And who writes a scroll? Well, we are commanded to do it ourselves, but that takes a lot of time and training and learning. So we commission a scribe to write a Sefer Torah, and we have commissioned a wonderful, not so fair, but so fairette, which is the feminine form of the word, Jen Taylor Friedman, who is the first woman officially to scribe a Torah scroll. Our scroll will be her 7th, so she has a lot of experience. But she currently lives in London. And she has a 5-year-old at home. So she's not flying to Stockton. She will be writing our scroll for the next 15 months or so, 5 days a week. she'll be sitting at her drafting table, very carefully writing every word of the Torah. It's a holy task, and it's a lot of work. We have the pleasure, as I mentioned before, of writing some of our new Torah scroll with our own hand right here in Stockton, but I don't know how to do that. Does anybody here don't know how to do that? So there is another wonderful scribe that we have discovered and connected with. He has been doing this for many, many years. He has a lot of experience. He has already done 8 Torahs. But he doesn't write Torahs anymore. He travels all around the country, visiting congregations like ours. He repairs Torahs, and he does what he's going to do with us, which is to guide us and to help us so that every member of our congregation who wants to participate will be able to write a letter in the Torah, holding that special feather quill with Neil. What can I say? He is a total mensch. He's a wonderful educator. And to kick off, he's going to be teaching us throughout this weekend. Tomorrow there are 2 opportunities, if you haven't noticed, at 10 and at 7. 2 separate learning sessions. But we have invited him just to give us a little forspice, a little taste this evening, and to teach us a little bit. I don't know what he's going to say, but we're welcoming him. He's looking at me like, gee, I don't know either. But I am certain whatever it is, it's going to be brilliant. And we're going to be learning together with him, and what a treat it is to welcome him all the way from the holy city of New York to our holy city of Stockton. Won't you please give a warm welcome to Neil Yearman.
Shabbat Shalom. And welcome to your temple. Thank you for welcoming me. Thank you, Rabbi Jason and Cantor Lindy. That was, where are you? Where are you? Oh, there you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, choir. Your voices were wonderful. I wanted to see all of you and just get a look at people who are producing with such beautiful voices and such beautiful spirit singing this evening. This is truly a wonderful, wonderful Shabbat experience. So how to talk about Torah in how many minutes, Rabbi? How many minutes do I have? I have 5 minutes? Seriously? Well, as we would have said in Williamsburg, good luck with that.
Just a forspice.
This is a forspice? Okay. Okay. So, Shira Tayam. Shir, song.
Song of Sea, some intersection between time, a narrow place, and water, and us, who live in the ever-present, but who also live in the very tiny moment. What does that have to do with writing a letter of Torah? Okay, it's a question. And now I have 4.5 minutes to answer it. Sure. Okay, so the answer to the question, how many letters are there in the Torah? Someone has it here. I mean, I do, I know I have it. Anyone else? 304,805. Exactly. Not one more letter, not one less letter. And if Jen Taylor Friedman were here in person to tell you, one of the directives that we receive from Rambam, from Maimonides, who lived in the 1100s, we're not quite sure when in the 1100s. Some scholars say 1135, some scholars say 1165. Then again, scholars get paid to argue, so. And reminds us that if one omits one letter in the Torah, or if one adds one letter in the Torah, it might lead to the destruction of the entire world. But there's no pressure in writing. There's no pressure whatsoever. So I was reminded of 304,805 when you told me about that yad that dates back to 1865. And there are people who listen when the rabbi speaks. I'm married to my rabbi. Let's skip the subject now. And it's a wonderful thing, right? So 304,805. What do we do with that? We understand three. We understand three, just like we understand the three fathers, and 300. There is no zero in the Hebrew alphabet, actually. There is no letter representing zero. It starts at 1, actually, and goes up to 400 in 1 out of 254 various ways of counting. 805. 8, a symbol of renewal. That is, after 7 days a week after Shabbat, we begin the next day. It is the commandment of circumcision on the 8th day. It is also the 8 days of the holidays of Sukkot, and the 8 days of Pesach, and the 8 days of Hanukkah, well, depending on where you are living. And the 5 for the 5 books of Torah. So numbers are symbols, letters are symbols, all of the letters are Torah are symbols, and we are the letters of Torah. So we hear this saying, Marbeh Torah, Marbeh Chaim, Marbeh Chaim, Marbeh Torah. You know the saying? Yes? No? Maybe not? Marbeh Torah, Marbeh Chaim. The more Torah, the more life. The more life, the more Torah. Who is Torah? We are the Torah. How do we know? Because it says, Kidvu lachem et hashira hazot, in the 613th commandment. You write, va'ata, and therefore, Kidvu, you write for yourselves this song. V'lamda et bnei Israel, and teach it to the children of Israel. That is, writing it and teaching it from the moment we write it, from the moment, that moment when we begin, which sometimes feels like a very ever-present moment. It begins at some point. We hesitate right before we letter. We copy the letter, and as we write the letter, we fulfill living through the future and into the past. The future contains the anticipation of the moment, then the act, and the act is over, and it's gone. Just like the word now. We say now, and it's in the past. When is the present? The present is like the narrow place between the waters. We live between the waters. We have the Cecil B. DeMille picture in our eyes, those who saw the production with Moses, Charlton Heston. I never understood that casting. But the waters on one side and the waters on the other. Now, if we reverse the waters and we put the waters in the heavens, in Ha Sha Mayim, You hear the word in the heavens, the upper waters. That is, the waters on the second day of creation are separated so that there are waters above us and waters in the oceans. But we pass through constantly between the waters, don't we? And we say we're walking on dry land, but we contain water. 70% of us, just like the earth, is water. And when we breathe, our breath, which also carries our words of teaching, and the breath which carries our words of song, unite the waters, because those drops of moisture in reality and in science, those drops of moisture, the waters that we drink that pass through us as well, sweat and tears of joy and tears of sorrow, as we pass through this narrow place, and such is also the place of Egypt. As we pass through, sometimes also being in the bondage of confusion and being in the bondage of the things that happen in life, we sing. We sing our Shira, our song. And what do we do in that moment? We're listening and we're thinking about passing through the waters and passing through the narrow place of every single moment. But what we do is we take that which is given by Shaddai. We are reminded of Shaddai. We have a mezuzah on our door at home. There's a shin on the mezuzah, or a shin daled yud, which stands for Shomer Delatot Yisrael, or so our teachers tell us, the guardian of the doors of Israel. So when we say shh for Shema, shh for Shabbat, shh for Shalom, it is also from the Almighty who creates us. And the Yud, the pointing finger, the one who points to us, that is the Yud. The Yud appears in the Torah scroll 31,522 times. Did you know that? You can take it to Jeopardy. That's that letter, that little letter of Torah, that little tiny letters. It's the tiny things, it's the smallest things which are mighty. Ask any child here. The Yud points us, that is Shaddai, points to us and says, use your Ruach, your spirit. Your spirit. Ruach HaNefesh is breath. That's the way that's what the ancients called breath. The Ruach HaNefesh, the wind of the soul. The wind of the soul. And when we think, we see Yud, He, Vav, He, those letters, which represent an unpronounceable name. An unpronounceable name. We can pronounce it without notes. The Yud, the breath of Yud, the breath behind the Yud is Yah. The breath behind He is He. And the Vav is really Wav. It was never Vav. It's a Wav sound. Wav. And He is He. And if you put them all together, you get wind. You know, in the Torah, in the first day of creation, Baruch Elohim merachefet al pnei hamayim, and the wind of God swept across the face of the waters. So picture yourself, you're alone in the desert, you're looking up at stars in a black night, and you close your eyes, and something touches your cheek, and it's wind, and it's invisible, and you can't see it. You can't smell it. You can't touch it. But you feel something and you hear someone speak to you. We were given that breath. We teach with that breath. The last commandment of Torah teaches us. V'lamde et b'nei Yisrael. And when you've written your Torah, and when you've taught your Torah, and when we bring the Torah from the very end of the Torah, or that commandment is almost at the very end, to the beginning of Torah. What is the first commandment we find in the very first column of writing? Peru urevu, be fruitful and multiply. Well, of course. You give it to your children so that they can teach their children. And Torah becomes complete. And the cycle goes round. But the completion of that Torah, and the fact that that can happen, comes from that writing of one letter, without which the Torah is never complete. So the rabbis have said, if you can't write a whole Torah, and you don't have a year to write a Torah, write a letter, and you will complete it. Because if that letter was missing, it would not be a Torah until you bring your ruach and your song of your life. Every letter in the Torah stands for the name of a child in the house of Israel, past, present, and future. And that is the mighty sea of Torah. And that's the sea where we sing our song. I think my 5 minutes were up a few minutes ago. I look forward to seeing you this weekend and future weekends on my visits. And thank you so much for this invitation. Shabbat Shalom. Stan is not here. Thank you. I think I can now do this without falling off.
I think you will agree that was a magical 5 minutes. A transformative 5 minutes filled with wisdom and learning and inspiration. And I can't think of a better 5 minutes to kick off our weekend as we begin to write our Torah, and for each one of us to appreciate the power of the one letter that each one of us will write, because without it, the Torah would not be complete. And so we have, I think, about 80 people who will be writing on this Sunday. But don't worry if you haven't jumped in yet to dedicate a part. Neil is going to be coming back 2 more times, and you will have the opportunity either in the fall, November the 5th, or when the very last weekend when our Torah is complete, but we will have some space to add a few more letters for those who didn't get the opportunity, May the 5th of 2024. And Neil is going to be coming and teaching and helping us these 3 times, and what a pleasure it was to hear you tonight. I'm guessing a few more people after hearing that are going to come tomorrow. And you are welcome.
And we continue with the Aleinu, and those who are able, please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach v'adon hakol, atet gedula leoseh breshit, shelo asanu ki goyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'chaya Adonai l'melech hakol haaretz bayom hahu Hayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo 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 echad.
Please be seated. We invite those at home who are in mourning, either in Shiva or Shloshim or Shanat, and you would like to share the names, please go ahead and type them into the chat. We say Yizkor Elohim. May God remember Craig Lee Corn, past president of our congregation and a lifelong resident of our city of Stockton, remembered with love by his wife Jo, his sons Adam and his wife Lisa, and Blaine and his wife Edie, and his grandchildren Estina, Zuri, Rhea, and Noe, and his many cousins and many friends, and all of us here at Temple who had the blessing and the pleasure of knowing him throughout the years. And we owe so much to him for the leadership that he showed to our congregation when he was on the board and was the president and led our first renovation. May his memory be for a blessing. The following names are the names of, I'm forgetting. Before I read the yort sites, if you here are in mourning, if you are either in Shiva or Shloshim or Shana, we invite you to please stand and share with us the name of your precious loved one. The following names are the names of family members and friends of our community who have a yortzeit, the anniversary of their death sometime in the week ahead. If I read the name of your loved one, won't you please stand? We remember with love Irma Cervelli, David Hershey, Tamar Villanueva, Irving Edelstein, Edwin Cushins, Fanny Horowitz, Rich Passer, Jack Uniter, Clay Utterbeck, Sally Skolnick, Hedrina Goldsmith, Mort Cohen, Richard Ripkin, Ruth Rosenberg, Rebecca Taylor, Ben Goldberg, Ruth Perlberg, Ben Warschauer, Marianne Jacobs, Libby Shukoff, Tilly Katz, David Rafelson, Samuel Rafelson, Philip Lipkin, Sally Brandis, Martin Coleman, Barry Hirschfield, Fran Fortis, and Ruth Ann Teague.
Add these loved ones: George Foley, Gerald Brooks, and Eric Friedman.
And is anyone else present who is observing
I'm sorry,
your
my
side this
mic
Shabbat?
wasn't on, so those at home didn't hear me say. I'm just going to say again: George Foley, Gerald Brooks, and Eric Friedman.
Any more yard sites?
Max
Berger. Zichronam Levracha, may the memory of all these loved ones be for a blessing and a never-ending source of strength. And we remember the 6 million as well. So many leaving no one to remember them, no one to say Kaddish for them. And so we take them into our hearts along with our own precious loved ones who have died, as we now stand together as a kihila and recite Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rava, bi'alma divrach erutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, b'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rava mivarach le'olam ulomei omaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudisha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiran b'yoma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, Huya se shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, b'imru, amen. May the one who makes peace in high places make peace upon us, upon all Israel, and upon the entire world. And we say, amen. Please be seated. My pleasure to invite up onto the bima Stephanie Goldman, a member of our board of directors, to share with us the announcements for this Shabbat. I think it's your first time.
You know when the last time was? The last
Oh.
service before the
Pandemic.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't be here.
You've been waiting all this
I
time.
know. Thank you, Rabbi, Lindy. Oh, Shabbat Shalom, by the way. Thank you, Rabbi, Lindy, and our choirs. Thank you, Steve Schermerhorn and Beth Saunders. Thank you for your beautiful music. Thank you, Ari, Karma, and Sofer, Neil, for making tonight so special. This week, join us in wishing a happy birthday to Stacy Sims and Lori Maldonado. Rehearsals for this year's Purim Spiel Oy Vey Broadway are well underway. A reminder to our chiefs, contestants, and henchmen, we're rehearsing this Sunday from 9:30 to 10:30. Get in the Purim spirit by ordering an Oy Vey Broadway shirt. Orders must be received by this Tuesday, February 7th. Online orders or email Karma. We are so looking forward to learning and celebrating with Sofer Neil this weekend. Tomorrow we will have Torah and Kabbalah at 10 a.m., Havdalah, Aleph, Bet, and Calligraphy at 7 p.m. And at 11 a.m. on Sunday, we will officially begin the writing of our new Torah scroll in a special ceremony called Simchat Bereshit, the joy of beginnings. Thank you to all those who have RSVP'd. The online RSVP form is now closed. If you did not RSVP and you plan on attending, please connect with Karma tonight. You can reach her by using the Contact Us form on our website. Or see her. She's right there. Jewish Learning Lab parents, just a reminder that dismissal this Sunday will be at noon. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank
Shabbat
you.
Shalom. Thank you, Stephanie.
And dismissal is at noon so that we all have the opportunity to be involved in our Simchat Bereshit at 11 o'clock, and it will go till 12.
If
Thank
you have children in religious school on Sunday morning, you have this evening had a taste of what a wonderful teacher Neil is. He's going to be meeting with the students of our religious school on Sunday morning, and we welcome you to participate and come and listen to him teach. And that'll start at 9.
I think you've got, there's an email out there you can check out. So,
And everyone else at 11. Colot, come and join us on the bima, and everyone else come stand and come close to the bima as we...
we have one more, we have one more reading or no? Yes. Okay. Well, you read this while they're coming up.
So I'm always making a big deal. Come forward, and people always stop right there. And when they stop right there, it means everyone behind you can't come. So all this space, come, fill, come forward, come closer. And everyone behind, come. If you think you're getting to Oneg first by staying back there,
But we're projecting.
Right, we don't want to.
We don't want to, right, exactly. We're trying to balance.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei beri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim.
And thank you to Deborah Blinder for making our challah, which brings us
This is the seventh.
the seventh strand
For the seventh day.
seventh day. There we go.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Two more thank yous. One to Karma, who put together all these beautiful slides with the prayers.
Yay, Karma!
And lastly, thank you to all of you for coming this evening, for lifting your voices in song and prayer. You really made this a special evening for me and for Lindy and for all of us. To hear your voices was the biggest blessing.
And thank you to all of those who were worshiping with us at home. Let's all say
Everyone turn
Shabbat
around
Shalom.
to the camera and say,
Echad Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Happy birthday, Lori.
And
Please
Shabbat
join
Shalom
us.
to everyone. Please join us at Oneg. Shabbat
Delicious
Shalom.
Oneg, I think. Out there.
It's fun to sing.
Thank you for conducting. That was great. It was good. It was great. Thank
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai